Hey, my name is Bartek,
I'm Ryan.
I'm Janette.
and we chose Johnson and Johnson to do our case analysis. Basically, what we'll be going over in this presentation are three different models that we came up with, along with a potential improvement discussion that we put together for Johnson and Johnson, along with some of the references we used putting this entire thing together.
So Johnson & Johnson was established in 1886 and is currently headquartered in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Some key areas of business is their pharmaceutical division, their medical devices division, and their consumer health products division. Their corporate responsibility is guided really heavily by their credo, which focuses a lot on their patients, healthcare professionals, employees, and their communities and shareholders. They have a strong emphasis on their ethical practices, environmental sustainability, and their social responsibility. Some legal challenges that they've been facing currently are some lawsuits, including their talcum powder products, which is their famous Johnson & Johnson baby powder, and their opioid litigation. Some of the plaintiffs have come out and said that their products have carcinogens in it, which can lead to ovarian cancer and mesothelioma. Their financial performance has been pretty consistently high in consistent revenue, profitability, and market capitalization, and shareholder returns. Their global presence has been really good as well. They have products sold in more than 175 countries, and they operate in over 60 countries. Their organizational structure focuses a lot on the benefits of decentralized decision making with the strengths of centralized oversight and support. Going along with the general environmental analysis, for political and legal, there have been a variety of lawsuits over vaccine related issues, especially post COVID, which has led to a changing in healthcare policies. And there has also been a lot of tensions with the Israeli and Palestine war, which has also affected trade policies. According to an article called When Does Conflict Become a Company's Business? Even if the company is not actively involved with either side, it's important to monitor how their employees are feeling about it and to ensure that they are not accentuating any differences that could make them look bad. For the economic category, some recession patterns have been leading to lower consumer spending, which has also been due to rising inflation rates. So consumers are not really buying unnecessary products outside of their means, and this has led to competitive pricing for a variety of different companies. The sociocultural and demographic category, again, there's been some social stigma post-COVID towards healthcare policies, especially with the younger generation. Healthcare accessibility worldwide has not been great, so that's been a big priority as well. And with fluctuating currency exchanges, that has been a big issue for companies deciding on what they should focus on. And technological AI integration into modern medicine, especially virtual clinics, has been huge. According to an academic journal from the Asia Pacific Journal of Ophthalmology, aging populations and a rise in chronic disease has led for a bigger need for ophthalmic care in virtual eye clinics. Blockchain technology has been huge for this too, which can empower consumers to take their own healthcare into their own hands. And with any technological advancement, cybersecurity is a huge concern as well.
All right, so moving on to our second model, this is a Porter's Five Forces on the healthcare products industry. We see at the top, threat of entrance is low medium. Some of the key points there, there's really high economies of scale and pretty high capital requirements. These are medical devices and products. There's a lot of R&D that goes into them. There's a lot of room for differentiation though, but limited access to distribution. There's something called a limited distribution drug, according to GoodRx, which is a drug that can't be held at many pharmacies and is very limited, and a lot of drugs are like that. So distribution is kind of difficult. Bargaining power of buyers is low medium, which is more self-explanatory. There's a huge number of buyers. They're purchasing a lot throughout the year, but there's low switching costs and backward integration. That type of power is not likely. Threat of substitutes, these would be generic healthcare products, is medium high because the perceptions of similarities are high, 89%, according to Statista of the pharmaceuticals sold in the United States are generic unbranded. And the performance and quality of those substitutes is high. For example, Tylenol versus acetaminophen is exactly the same thing. Bargaining power of suppliers is low medium. There are many suppliers in the industry. According to first research, over 10,000. Suppliers are integral to the success, but they only sell to a few industries. Again, forward integration, that type of power with suppliers, not likely. Rivalry, we had at medium. There are many competitors. It's assumed about like 5,500, according to a MedPAC study. And those competitors, even though there's some big players, they're equally balanced because there's a lot of generic competitors. They're pretty high exit barriers, like I said, with the capital requirements. And it's a pretty mature industry at this point, slow industry growth. And what this means for Johnson & Johnson is that for them as a company in the industry, having the threat of new entrants be low, even though the threat of substitutes is high, I think it's a pretty good opportunity for them, and they're really solidified in the space. For companies looking to come in, maybe a more specialized approach could work.
So let's talk about the Porter's value chain section and the primary activities, starting with the supplier sustainability. Now, according to an article titled Our Approach to Climate Change from the Johnson & Johnson website, Johnson & Johnson is partnering with suppliers to enhance sustainability and decarbonize through programs like Energize and Active. They're also using AI and digital tools to streamline supply chain and forecast demand. Now, moving into the manufacturing innovations, they are applying AI and digital platforms at lighthouse sites to boost efficiency and product quality. Now, with the order fulfillment and distribution, they are also using digital platforms and real-time analytics for improved distribution at new centers and existing facilities, as well as developing tech to reduce sold-out messaging to improve order accuracy. Now, proceeding into the customer experience and sales support, they're also using more AI to improve customer interactions through virtual call centers and personalized management, along with leveraging AI for better understanding of customers' needs. Now, when it comes to customer service and the post-sale experience, they are once again using AI and ML to enhance real-time customer service, as well as utilizing AI to analyze surgical videos for improved training and outcomes, which is ultimately just a benefit. Getting into the support activities, in the general administration side of things, we pulled from an article on Johnson & Johnson about Kathy Wengo, who turns out to be the executive for Johnson & Johnson in terms of driving innovation and sustainability. And we also found out that they have climate targets in place for reducing emissions and renewable energy sourcing. Now, with the human resource management side of things, Johnson & Johnson is investing in AI and digital skills through certain different partnerships throughout the industry-leading experts, using programs like the Fourth Industrial Revolution for increased sustainability and efficiency. Now, with the technological developments Johnson & Johnson has in place, they are using a lot of AI for disease detection, surgical improvements, and drug discovery, along with different platforms in place for supply chain and customer service improvement. Now, for the procurement, the main focus for Johnson & Johnson is the quality, sustainability, and most importantly, renewable energy, along with certain things like compliance and certain analytics to handle risks and disruptions in place.
All right, so we've been over the three models. What does this mean though? How can Johnson & Johnson improve? So pandemic preparation, this is related to our environmental analysis. Post-COVID, vaccines are really important, and Johnson & Johnson putting at the forefront is going to help them reach that goal of in 2025, they want a 12 to 18th month response to any outbreaks. Legal representation, so they're no stranger, this, like Janette said when we were Janette said when we were talking about our environmental analysis, the 61,000 plaintiffs with the talcum powder, they need protection about against that type of stuff. So putting that sort of lawsuit protection at the forefront is be really important for them moving forward. Sustainability and social responsibility, this is coming from our Porter's value chain. Like Bartek said, with that executive, that is a huge part of Johnson & Johnson. They are known for having a high level of ethics. So kind of adhering to that moving forward is going to be really important. Digital transformation, being able to utilize AI for manufacturing, customer service, supply chain management. We saw in the value chain that that's going to be really a really great opportunity for them. In these last two, competition management and supply relations, these are related to our Porter's 5 forces. So maintaining a competitive advantage is going to be really important against a lot of those generic competitors in the space. And then supplier relations is going to be really important. Even though there's a lot of suppliers, maintaining relationships with them is going to allow them to reduce a lot of their costs. We saw in the 5 forces model. And even exploring integration seems like vertical integration could be good, buying up some of those supply chain steps. And these are some of our references. We've put it into a multitude of slides just to make it easier to understand, but this is for our overview. These are for our 5 forces. We have a few for our environmental analysis, and here are the references for our improvements. Thank you.